doing, mate? Everything all right?
Good. Good. Had a good week. What about you?
Yeah, not too bad. Going into London tomorrow, so kind of looking forward to the train journey and then the -2 degrees temperature.
The big smoke. You'll be trapped like a, what do they say, sardine or something?
Yeah, trapped like a sardine on the way into the concrete jungle.
Concrete jungle, where dreams are made of.
Powerful, that, isn't it? Where a Tesco meal deal costs you £4.50 with a club card.
Yeah, other meal deals are sometimes more expensive.
I was doing some research actually, and this bizarre thing came up. Like, did you know that there's no official training for bin men? They just pick it up as they go along.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
There we go. Is this gonna be a tradition that we're starting with to say a one-liner at the start of each episode?
Well, I don't mind. I think it's quite a nice little, Well, I think it's nice, but you don't even laugh. So, what's the point?
I think because we record these on through microphones, I think it mutes the laughing, because I was basically like crying on the floor with that one.
Really? Because your tone didn't change either. But I guess I'll just take your word on it, mate.
Yeah, I mean, some people hate when I sit on the fence, but I'm not really bothered one way or the other.
The most ancient
Brilliant.
joke in the book.
I'm biting my tongue to stop laughing because you don't deserve a chuckle. So
we'll have to get a vote going. Whose one was the best? I mean, bearing in mind you had about 8 years to research, and that's what you came up with.
Well, actually, there was a bit of a theme to it, and I was hoping you would go, "Oh, interesting. You picked a bit of a joke that's related to that topic," and then you would go, "Oh, is today's topic about?"
I can't even remember what your joke was, to be honest.
Did you
what
know?
Was it? Go on, say it again.
Did you know there is no official training for bin men? They just
See if
pick
it's
it
as
up as
funny
they
the
go
second
along.
time.
Well, not when you talk through the punchline. Did you know there is no official training for bin men? They just pick it up as they go along. Hello? Hello? You still there, mate? Obviously died of laughter. So, most podcasts work with two people having a conversation, but I think we've just killed Luke 10. So,
I'm back.
I thought you died of laughter and tried to deliver a one-man pod.
Did you carry on with it?
Yeah. So we're just wrapping up, actually, to be fair.
I won't feel like I've been kicked out of the pod.
No, so obviously I don't want to tell a joke for a fourth time, because first time you laughed a little bit, second time you talked over me, and then the third time you laughed so much the line died. So I'm going to guess that you got the...
Yeah, you're not bitter about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not bitter about anything, mate. So did you get any idea about what the topic might be?
I also forgot completely what you were saying. So no, it's a short answer.
God, this episode's a waste of time.
Let's just bin this episode. Is there any point recording it? Just finishing it off.
Absolutely shambolic start. So that was actually kind of a little pun as well. I'm kind of thinking of calling the episode Waste of Time. Now, have you heard of our good friend Taichi Ohno?
No. Is it the person who made that, is it like a martial art, but it's like a spiritual one? You do Tai Chi. I don't think you can actually fight anyone, but I think it's one of those ones where, like, it makes your brain and body feel better. And you pretend to fight people.
Yoga for men.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, I'm not saying that yoga isn't for men, but...
Yeah, that's a bit outrageous, isn't it? No, so Taichi Ohno is not the inventor of Tai Chi. Not a bad guess, given his first name is Tai Chi.
I mean, if there was anyone who made the name Tai Chi, probably going to be him, right?
You'd think so. But oh no, actually, he didn't invent Tai Chi. He was a technical engineer for Toyota, and he's considered one of the godfathers or the founders or the daddies of lean manufacturing. The
big Toyota, and is that what we're talking about today? Then the lean contracting.
So I was thinking we could kind of go lean a little bit. However, I think we talk about Taichi Ohno, what he contributed to lean, or what he did that kind of resulted in lean arriving. to kind of define lean, lean is often seen in your production system.
Isn't it something that rappers drink as well?
That's spleen, isn't it?
No, I thought lean was like some sort of drug that it's like cough syrup. Maybe
maybe. Was that codeine?
I don't think we're educated enough to be talking about that.
No. If there's any dealers out there, let us know.
Any people who like the lean drug, then yeah, feel free to send us a sample.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 1 of Gen Z Slang That the Boys Don't Understand with your host, Sound Guy. In this episode we will be going over lean, what it is, and what it does. To quote Urban Dictionary, lean is a drink mostly consumed by rappers. It usually consists of codeine cough syrup, Sprite and Jolly Ranchers. The drink is known to make people drowsy and high as a kite. Remember, don't do drugs, kids. Back to the episode.
So anyway, lean in procurement is the process of cutting out waste whilst ensuring that the quality isn't compromised. So, should go over that again. Lean is the process of cutting out waste whilst ensuring quality isn't compromised.
So, if you were to lean this podcast, then you'd basically cut out like 90% of my jokes.
To be brutally honest, I'd probably just get rid of you completely.
Yeah, I think you'd say that.
But then actually, when you dropped off earlier, that kind of made it really hard for me, so I'm glad you're here.
You only know what you're missing when it's gone. That's what they say, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the better way of describing it is if we didn't have our director of sound, we would be very unlean, or Jolene, or whatever the opposite of lean is, and it would just be full of, well, you'd be searching hours for a little golden nugget.
Yeah, it would basically, the director, what is he called, director of sound? Is that what we're titling him as now?
Yeah, director of sound, also known as DOS, so DOS.
DOS, as Tyson Fury likes to say.
DOSer, yeah.
Maybe we should get Jolene. Maybe we should have got Jolene on this podcast.
That's a good idea, actually.
Or are you going to do a bit of karaoke later?
I was thinking about it. I need to warm up the vocal cords though with some useful educational tools first.
Maybe that's the bonus. If anyone gets to the end of this awful episode, then they get to hear you talking about doing karaoke.
Yeah, either that or we'll try and get Taichi Ohno if he's still kicking around onto the next one. I know you've got connections, so we'll see what we can do. So dialing back the clock, Taichi was walking through the Toyota factory in Japan, and he thought, how can we make this production process better? And he kind of came up with the concept of, well, actually there's just a lot of waste going on, so in order to make the production process better, more efficient, cheaper, you need to reduce wastage. So
I'm with you so far. That sounds sensible for a business.
There's two types of waste that we kind of discuss about: pure waste and necessary waste. So I don't know if you want to hazard a guess or not, but I don't know, what do you think? Pure waste?
Pure waste. Is it the people who go to Pure Gym but they just sit on the equipment and they don't actually do any worthwhile exercise because they're wasting Pure Gym's time?
That is actually unreal. And I'm going to kind of say, yeah, I'll give you that, because it's non-value adding and unnecessary waste.
There's a good analogy to think of.
I wouldn't call it good, but yeah, it kind of works.
Analogy.
So Ohno was kind of saying, well, if anything doesn't add any value and can be removed from the process, effectively, it's a pure waste, and it will bring a benefit to get rid of it. The other type of waste is necessary waste. Any ideas? There's no necessary gym, so it'd be interesting to see what you think on this one.
Not a necessary gym until now. Advertising a gym that we're going to make. Maybe that should be our first venture from the podcast.
Let's talk gym.
Let's talk necessary gym. Like, you'd only send people there if they need to go to into the gym. That could be a bit savage if you hate someone, buy them a membership to Necessary Gym.
Yeah.
Getting back to the topic. Necessary waste.
No, necessary, not unnecessary.
So is that like, I don't know, if you're burning coal to power your heater or something so that your product gets melted or something. That was probably the awful way to say it, but if you're burning coal as part of your production process, you can't just stop burning coal. You need to put the used coal somewhere else. That's a horrible analogy.
I'll shoehorn that in. I mean, that can't be any worse than the pure gym one, so we'll go with that. Necessary waste is non-value adding, but things that you have to do, they are necessary just to get things done, to make sure that quality persists. And when I read that, I was like, what the hell is that one about? What do you mean? And actually, it kind of makes sense, because it's things your customer wouldn't pay you for necessarily, but things you have to do to make sure you deliver a quality outcome. So things such as, like, before you launch a product, you might want to test it. Now, that testing is something you do at your own expense, but actually it makes sure that the quality you put to market is as you're advertising. So I guess the Barbershop Ramble is a good episode of Necessary Waste.
Yeah, we had to kind of get that content out there just to prove how bad we are at this podcasting.
Yeah, I mean, we set the bar low and then kept it there, really. So Taichi Ohno went into 7 different types of waste. Okay, so I'm going to go through them, and then we'll go through them in terms of an example. Okay, and give me what you think it means for each one. Ready?
All right.
Inventory waste.
Waste that you create by storing too much product in your inventory.
Waiting waste.
People who are dying in a doctor's waiting room.
Kind of. Time spent idle, or waiting too long for things to arrive, etc. Defect waste.
When you are making a car, if you make the car and it pops out with 3 wheels instead of 4, you get rid of that whole car, don't you?
I mean, I'll probably just put another wheel on it, but yeah, okay.
Nope. That's not what we're doing today.
Brilliant. Overproduction waste.
I think it's when you make too little of something, so it's a waste.
Overproduction, yeah, you think that's overproduction is when you make too little of something.
Yep.
All right, nice one. Motion waste. Now this is a classic. This is my favourite, I think.
The friction burn waste of energy.
It actually is, yeah. It's things like is time wasted because you have to stand up to go and get a different part? Could you do it all sitting down? Could someone get the parts to you? How would you be more efficient without reducing your motion? An example of that is if you've got one of those desks that you press a button and it turns into a standing desk, you don't actually need to go for a walk to get your sort of fitness back into your legs. You just press the button and then you stand up. You carry on working, but you still get your exercise bit in.
Yeah, I mean, if people are getting obese, we're also doing kind of health tips on this podcast. Don't eat less or don't go on a run. Just stand up. Go exercising.
2 calories a stand.
Yep.
Number 6, transportation waste.
The waste, if you have to take it from where it's built to where it's sold.
And what do you mean by the waste? So
as in, could you just make it and sell it from the same place, like, I don't know, IKEA? They don't send you the furniture, they just let you come to their warehouse. They don't have to deliver it anywhere.
Yeah, or you've got a factory in Scunthorpe, and then you need to go to London to deliver it. But whilst doing that, you decide to go via Wales, so you can visit, I know, Aunt Andrea, stop off for a cup of tea, and then go into London. That's excess and unnecessary transportation.
Yeah, have a Welsh cake. See Snowdon for a minute. Maybe climb it.
Yeah, sounds quite nice. And then over processing. It's the last one.
Is it what everyone thinks procurement is? In terms of
What procurement does? Yeah, it is what procurement does.
we have so many processes, and everyone thinks that we're over processing it. Why can't we just go out and pay on a debit card?
Yeah, pretty much. So why? It's all the extra steps and gatekeepers and things that you put in the middle, and if they're not adding value, why are you doing them?
The prop block stuff.
Yeah, so kind of, I guess, stakeholders probably think we're prop blocking, and yeah, not bad. We probably are one of the 7 wastes. So, testing your knowledge, and the listeners, if there are any, what do you remember of those 7?
Well, Pure Gym. Was that one of them? What I learned from this was Pure Gym, standing up, and procurement are useless. Does that help?
It's really going to help you for your exams coming up, mate. Any of them? Any of the 7?
What, apart from the ones you just messaged?
Do you remember any of the 7 wastes of lean?
Oh, if I had to say some of them, I would say... Wait, are these in the exact same order that you just read them out in?
Yeah. Try and read them in a different order.
Okay. Maybe we should just keep this in to show absolute shambles of this. Over-processing.
Yep.
Transportation. Motion. Waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Inventory and defects.
Nicely done. You missed overproduction, but that's understandable. 6 out of 7 is not bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean, some people say I've overproduced, but I don't think it's a waste personally.
So, moving on. I'm gonna talk through this very quickly in a situation of software development. Okay. So imagine you're a software developer, and I'm going to give you those 7 types of wasting and an example of each one.
What's my software developer name? Can you give me a bit of background to the character?
L10 Limited. Been
What do I
operating
look
for
like?
2 years.
Am I ginger with thick glasses? That's what I imagine a software developer to be.
Yeah, okay. We'll go with that. There are other software developers available, but we will go with that. You said ginger.
Yeah. I don't actually know any software developers, so I'm just guessing.
No, it's reasonable. So, software developer company, right? What defects waste? So obviously in a production plant, it's kind of broken parts and things, so it's quite easy to tell what a defect is. In a software example, it would be things like bugs. So you get like bugs and you need to go and do some patching and things.
Like errors in the code, basically.
Errors in the code, yep. Waiting. So waiting waste would be if testing takes too long to complete, or if you need code to review, but as a developer you haven't got that code yet, so you're wasting time. Motion. So obviously anything that takes you away from your desk, or things like unnecessary meetings. I think we've all been involved in those, where we just fill the agenda for the sake of it. Inventory. So if we've got any undelivered code, or if we've been given excessive code. Does that make sense so far? As a software developer?
I'm still with you.
Brilliant. Transportation. So obviously you're not jumping in a lorry and driving via Wales. But a transportation might be that you're switching between different bits of software that you're doing. So software A, software B, software C. And actually, you would probably avoid that transportation waste if you're focusing on one bit of software at a time. And then over processing might be building like the Rolls Royce of algorithms instead of just doing the simplest algorithm possible. So you could be over-analyzing or over-complicating a simple problem.
Yeah.
And
Or
then the
kind
last
of
one.
if the customer's only requires a certain, I don't know, feature in the software, and then you provide more than specification, might not be getting paid for it, but still a waste of your time.
Exactly. And then actually the overproduction kind of links to that. You might produce a program with loads of features that nobody's ever going to use. So just add in some extra bits that aren't really helpful. So that's kind of putting it into a software perspective. So Taichi Ohno, basically the founder of the 7 types of waste, and he worked through the Toyota production line and eliminated those wastes as best as he could, and that's what eventually became known as kind of lean manufacturing, where we are just trying to reduce as much waste as possible to ensuring that we still produce the right quality goods.
Would you say that just kind of, you called it lean manufacturing, so would you say it's more, I don't know what the word is, applicable basically? Would you say it's more applicable to manufacturing type industries rather than kind of say indirect or what's the word in English? In untangible things.
Oh, the English word for indirect. I'm not sure. But I would say that typically it kind of was founded in manufacturing, and that's where the benefits of it are most visible and most cost efficient, and the best way to kind of deliver value at a simplistic view, and kind of, I guess, like you say, it's tangible, you can see it and you can measure the progress. However, things like software development, things like marketing, they can still benefit from taking a lean production approach. Even stuff as simple as you make sure you're managing your time and focusing on one task for a period of time and not flicking between 30 different tasks at once. So it does have its uses across all the different areas. But from a SIPS exam perspective, when they talk about lean procurement, they tend to use industrial examples, warehousing, manufacturing, that sort of thing.
I know a lot of people might be a bit kind of cautious about when they see consultants, when they hear consultants coming in to make this a lean process.
Yeah.
Why do you think that people kind of don't really like that happening?
Well, lean implies you've trimmed the fat, doesn't it? Like, you go and do cardio to become lean. You train your abs to become lean. You want to get rid of that extra fat that you've got that doesn't really serve any purpose. So I think a lot of people kind of get paranoid thinking that there might be job cuts, and there could be in a lean process. There might be unnecessary job roles, or they might be able to have one person doing two of the previous people's job roles in one go. So lean could bring it, it's not just about human reduction or human improvements, but that is a part of it, so that could probably give some concern. So I mean, as far as Taichi Ohno is the kind of founder of lean is probably is part of the procurement process for delivering value and trying to improve your profit margins, or reduce your cost base. So it comes up in levels 4, 5, and 6 as potential questions, and you might even get an essay on it.
How would you kind of, if there was no example in the question, what example would you take from your bank
it's
to put into the question?
That's why I thought this episode I would start by talking about Taichi Ohno, because actually Taichi Ohno and his example at Toyota is the example of lean, if you see what I mean. So you've always, if you take away Taichi from this, or take away Ohno from this, and you can remember 2 or 3 of the types of waste that he references, that's your case study or your reference point for the exam. What types of waste you can reduce, what types of waste there are that you can reduce, or what type of procurement process or production process you can implement So, i.e., you then start to talk about lean manufacturing, and you can say this worked extremely well for Toyota because they looked at 7 different bits, and it helped streamline their production process for cars.
So is this something that has kind of caught on then, in terms of other, not just Toyota, but other companies are doing it now?
Yes, a lot of the car industries it's pretty much the only thing they do. So it's a combination of robotics and then human input, where robotics aren't as consistent enough at the moment. So you see it even in the sort of Range Rover, Land Rover factories in the UK. So there's a big one in Milton Keynes, and they've kind of got like a conveyor belt that's just going, and it's designed to be as efficient as possible. And you see it in many industries, and if you kind of just have a little Google, I'm sure you'll get 30 odd case studies come up in no time.
I've also heard of just in time. So how does?
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe it's another episode in itself, but how does lean and just in time compare?
It probably is a different episode to go into more detail, but they're sort of linked. So inventory waste is where you've got shed loads of inventory that's just sitting around waiting for you to kind of get to it. So you might produce 10 widgets a day, and you've got a backlog of like 1,000 components, and actually it's costing you to store those, and it's costing you to maybe do some maintenance on them and kind of do your stock check, etc. And good old Justin actually eliminates that problem by focusing on having your inputs for your widget arriving just in time. So i.e. a few hours, a few days before the point of which you need to use them. So you might remove a massive buffer stock that you have, and actually, because obviously if your buffer stock goes redundant, you're then throwing away loads of stock that you never use, and it's just a sunk cost for the company. So Justin looks at basically just trying to streamline your input process. How quickly can we get them in? How quickly can we turn them around? But obviously risks that come with that probably include, if your delivery is late, it could halt your whole production process.
And we know sort of about the risks of just in time from the KFC episode.
Oh yeah, and that ties it nicely.
Happen. Shout out to the KFC episode. I wanted to ask, is Justin related to the reason why there's no pilots called Jack? And if so, do you know why there are no pilots called Jack?
I don't know why there's no pilots called Jack.
It's because when they walk into the cockpit and the co-pilot says, "Hi Jack," everyone starts screaming and runs off the plane.
Brilliant. That's actually not bad for an unscripted one. Versus my bin one that took, like you say, 3 days of research.
It was worth it though, I think.
Have we had any messages from any listeners? I suspect not. It's been a quiet week, but you might tell me otherwise.
Well, we haven't actually publicised our email address yet, so maybe we should do that.
Oh, yeah, how did Janet get it? Oh, she must have taken it off the website, because it is on the website.
Yeah, but I did get emailed a news article about this cheese factory that exploded in France. There was nothing left but debris.
Hey, these jokes aren't good enough.
That was a good one.
Off the
top of your head.
Yeah, absolute breeze. Anyway, cheese factory puns aside, do you wanna release the email to the wild?
What, the one you made?
Did I?
The name that you came up with. It wasn't me.
Well, I'll take credit for it. Yeah, I think it's a great business name. Two Lukes, one sip at gmail.com.
It's the numbers as well, isn't it?
Yeah, numbers.
2, number 2, Lukes.
Yeah.
Plural. One sip.
CIP. At gmail.com. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really professional email address.
I think it's only fair that when you do get your sips, we'll change it to 2 Lukes.
2 sips.
Yeah. That's fair, isn't it?
Does level 4 count? I know you're going to say no, but I'll ask anyway.
Nah. I can't give you like 2 Lukes, 1.5 sip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, It's just one of my many jobs. I've also got a job collecting leaves. I'm raking it in. Just that sigh of disappointment.
I'm disappointed I didn't get to that joke first. I feel like I could have come up with that one if you gave me a week.
Yeah.
No, I'm proud of you. Well done. I think that's it, isn't it, for today?
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing to say is send this to someone if you hate them. It's probably not even worth doing the or part of this because it's going to be such a shambolic episode. So if you've been sent
What
this,
do you mean?
the
I'm proud
person
of this
hates you.
episode.
No, it's just shambolic. We're not even going to publish this, so it's fine.
Wrong.
No, send it to someone if you think this episode's been a waste of time and you
Yeah.
want to waste their time.
Yeah, because
Or-
then it's lean if they don't listen to it, and if they
Yeah.
do listen to it, they
Or-
learn about lean. So either way, it's good.
Jolene.
There we go.
See you
That's what
later.
we've been waiting for. See you later.